How are you guys doing? It is Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020, out here in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to take you through yesterday's performances from Monday, November 2nd, 2020. And of course, I'll be looking forward to what's going on today, especially with Champions League soccer. But first, starting off with yesterday's Monday Night Football game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to beat the New York Giants 25-23 last night. And this game would go down to the fourth quarter, but the Buccaneers were able to keep the Giants at arm's length, and they were able to secure their sixth win of the season. Looking at how the Giants fared yesterday, their quarterback Daniel Jones would complete 25 of his 41 passes for 256 yards with 2 touchdowns and 2 picks. On the ground, he was also able to add 20 yards, giving 276 total yards of offense. Wayne Gallman led the way on the ground for the Giants with 44 yards on 12 carries and a touchdown. Through the air, Sterling Shepard had 74 yards and 8 receptions. That's the most on the Giants. On the defensive side of the ball, Darnay Holmes, the young corner out of Los Angeles, was able to get the only fumble recovery of the day for the team. Jabril Peppers, their safety, was able to lead the team with 10 tackles, as he also had 2 passes defended as well. Leonard Williams, their young defensive end out of USC, was able to get 4 tackles, one of them being a sack on the day. And Carter Coughlin was able to get the other. Looking at how Tampa Bay fares, their GOAT quarterback Tom Brady was able to complete 28 of his 40 passes, completing 70% of them, throwing for 279 total yards of offense. He also had 2 touchdowns on the day. On the ground, Leonard Fournette led the way with 52 yards on 15 carries. Through the air, their elite wide receiver, Mike Evans, would finish with 55 yards and 5 receptions and a touchdown. Their future Hall of Fame tight end, Rob Gronkowski, would finish with 41 yards on 4 receptions and a touchdown as well. Looking at the defensive side of the ball, Jamel Dean, Antoine Winfield Jr., Jason Pierre-Paul, Devin White, and Jordan Whitehead would each have 7 tackles. Jason Pierre-Paul had a sack, same with Devin White. Continuing on, Carlton Davis and Sean Murphy-Bunting were able to get interceptions for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And like I said, it kind of came down to the end, but the last touchdown was scored by the Giants, and it would be a failed 2-point conversion that would result in them losing. With this loss, they're now 1-7 on the season, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now jump up to 6-2. With Week 8 matchups completed, taking you through the standings, starting in the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills currently lead that division with a 6-2 record. Following them are the 4-3 Miami Dolphins, sitting at second, and then behind them are the 2-5 New England Patriots, sitting in bottom and having the worst record in the NFL, are the 0-8 New York Jets, who still have yet to win a football game. In the AFC North, you have the only team that remains undefeated. You have the 7-0 Pittsburgh Steelers. Following them, you have the 5-2 Baltimore Ravens. In third place, the 5-3 Cleveland Browns. And in last place, the 2-5-1 Cincinnati Bengals, led by number 1 draft pick Joe Burrow. In the AFC South, it's a tie between the Tennessee Titans and the Indianapolis Colts, but they give way to the Tennessee Titans as of right now. And then tied for the bottom, sitting in third, you have the 1-6 Houston Texans, and in fourth, you have the 1-6 Jacksonville Jaguars. Jumping out to the AFC West, you have the defending Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs, sitting at the top with a 7-1 record. Behind them, sitting in second, are the 4-3 Las Vegas Raiders. The Broncos in third with a 3-4 record, and you have the Los Angeles Chargers in fourth with a 2-5 record so far through 7 games. Looking out to the NFC, starting off in the East, the Philadelphia Eagles currently lead the NFC East with a 3-4-1 record. Following them are the 2-5 Washington Football Team. In third, you have the 2-6 Dallas Cowboys, and in last, you have the 1-7 New York Giants. To the NFC North, the Green Bay Packers are sitting at 5-2 by themselves. Sitting in second are the Chicago Bears at 5-3. In third, you have the Detroit Lions at 3-4, and you have the Minnesota Vikings in last in that division at 2-5. In the NFC South, you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers led by GOAT quarterback Tom Brady at number 1 at 6-2. In second, you have the New Orleans Saints led by GOAT quarterback Drew Brees, sitting in second with a 5-2 record. The Carolina Panthers sitting in third with a 3-5 record, and the Atlanta Falcons are sitting in last with a 2-6 record in the NFC South. And last but not least, in the NFC West, the only team with 1 loss so far in the season in the NFC are the Seattle Seahawks. They're sitting at 6-1. Right behind them, and second are the 5-2 Arizona Cardinals. In third, you have the 5-3 LA Rams, and in fourth, you have the reigning NFC champs, the San Francisco 49ers, sitting at 4-4 on the season. And with that said, I'm going to jump really quickly to Champions League action because, of course, we are in the third week, we're in the third week of Champions League matchups so far in the group stages. But looking out to today's matchup, starting with the earlier ones at 12:55, will be Lokomotiv Moscow taking on Atletico Madrid, Shakhtar Donetsk taking on Borussia Mönchengladbach, and at 3 o'clock, the matchups between FC Salzburg and Bayern München, Atalanta and Liverpool, FC Midtjylland and Ajax Amsterdam, FC Porto versus Marseille, Manchester City versus Olympiacos, and Real Madrid versus Internacional should be able to start this first day of 2. for this third match week of Champions League, and following this, every single team will have played every other team in their group once. But of course, they have to play each other yet another time. If they're playing in home, they have to play them on the away, because you have to play them both home and away before they decide who advances to the round of 16. But with that said, it is Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020. Out here in this quarantine, I'm James Sims. I want to thank you for listening to my 5-minute piece. I hope all is well, and peace out. See you tomorrow.